where presently we're standing in front of the small bore competition at Fort Steele. Small bore being 22 rifle shooting, and they will shoot for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, and they shoot at targets. For the BC Summer Games competition, the targets are set at 50 feet, and as you can see, we have wheelchair athletes as well as regular athlete competitors. What district are you from?
Zone 6.
Zone 6, which is?
Campbell River.
Campbell River. And you're competing in the junior section of the small bore?
Yep.
And how many shots do you expect to take over the 2 days?
250.
250 shots. Yeah. And then how do they determine a winner?
They score up all the points, the way your bullets hit the bullseye, and then they just score it up and extract it.
This is the handgun competition. Presently in the process of shooting this standard pistol match.
Okay, and how many targets do they shoot?
They shoot 2 slow fire targets, 20 shots, 2 time fire targets of 20 shots, and 2 rapid fire. It's a total of 6 targets with 10 shots each, 600 points aggregate score. There's a center 10 ring and 9-8-7 out to 1 on the target, and accuracy is the game.
Right, right. And do they have time? They have time.
Yes,
I notice they load.
Oh, he just put it in the car. Whatever he checked.
you
10 seconds for 5 shots, and they do that 4 times.
Are you ready?
The black powder shooting to begin with?
Well, most of it's an individual thing. First of all, we go into the period dress whichever you want to, whatever you like.
Is that part of the judging, or are you just?
No, it's not on costume. Now we're just judging how well you can shoot. So
okay,
accurate.
The men's, senior women's, and juniors. The juniors have to be 13 to enter.
You bet.
Okay.
Once I was shooting center fire, and then I got so good I quit. So I had to pick up something more difficult. So black powder is more difficult. It takes more concentration and using no scopes. And when you get out there, maybe you'll get a chance to shoot.
Oh, okay. I love it. Now the shooting, and I noticed they're throwing over there. Are they all competing in every aspect of the competition? Is that what the black powder group is? They compete in all the different sections of the competition, or do there's only some of them shoot and some of them show?
Well, they should all be. They'll do the knife and hawk, throwing the Tommy Hawk and the knife.
Okay.
And then there's a primitive walk.
Yeah, primitive walk. You walk through and there's gongs, and you cut cards in half and straws in half, and they got targets hanging in the trees for tomorrow. They'll start that shoot tomorrow, so that's a little more difficult, I think, than the paper. Could be sometimes. A little more fun than the paper.
All zones are represented, although we have some more people from some zones than others. In particular, I believe the Prince Rupert Terrace zone, what zone? Zone 7 has the most. I believe there's 17 from that zone. Some zones don't have that many, but all zones are represented. We have 58 competitors in total. Although our sport involves 3 aspects of skydiving and parachuting, at this particular competition, we only do accuracy. Although we do have something called style and relative work, we do not have that at the Summer Games. So it's strictly accuracies, and the accuracy is based on the fact that the parachutists will leave the plane at approximately 2,500 feet, and they are trying to land as close as possible, if not on top of a 5-centimeter disc that's in the middle of that gravel bowl out there. The rule is whatever part of the body touches the ground first is where the score is measured. There is nothing to do with style in landing. If your arm touches, your elbow touches, or your toe touches, whatever touches first is where it's marked. In fact, we have an automatic score pad out there so that if they are within, I believe it's 20 centimeters, it's automatically scored on a number, and you might see that out there when if they land close enough, it scores automatically, so the judges have less work to do. However, if they are outside that 20 centimeters or 25 centimeters, I'm not exactly sure how far it is, then the judges have to measure from where they touch to the center of the...
And then points are designated depending on where they land?
They measure according to the number of centimeters to the center, and they make 4 jumps, and the total of all their scores is added together. So what you want is the lowest score is the winner.
Oh, I see.
There are 4 categories, though. We aren't letting those people that are very experienced compete with those that aren't very experienced. We have 4 categories: the juniors, intermediates, seniors, and masters. Junior jumpers have to have at least 25 jumps up to 150, and that's the first category. The second category is 150 jumps to 400 jumps, and then 400 to 1,000, and then 1,000 and up. So that they're competing against people that are very similar to them.
Points go here to... Today is 40 points.
Mm-hmm. And you get how many for a ringer?
A ringer is 3 and a close one is 1.
Okay.
And cancellation is if one ringer, each player has 1 ringer, and a close one. The one with the closest gets 1 point. The different pitches, different holders. A turn and a quarter.
Oh, okay.
Turn and 3/4. 3/4 turn, and a flip shoot. So there's all
the different ways people choose to throw it?
Yeah, that's right.
And how do you throw it?
Turn and 3/4.
You turn in 3/4. Okay. So that means it turns once and 3/4 times in the air until it hits...
Once and a quarter, pardon me. Did I
Once and a quarter? Yeah,
One
okay.
and a quarter, yes.
Until it gets to the other end. So the object is you throw it backwards? Do you throw it... Which... Do you throw
No,
it...
hold it to turn and a quarter, you say.
So it'll turn...
1 1/4.
1 1/4 times.
See?
I see, yes.
See that?
Are these two having a match right now?
Yeah, they're all in there. I forget what class, but I think it's in the C event.
like to say a few words to the folks, though.
I'd like to thank my mother and my father and my car dealer.
Just like to say, International State Line is the best company, best charter bus company in the Lower Mainland. Slug before you slug. Go ahead. I like grabbing these guys. Yes, sir. Okay.
Now we're at the Kinsman playing fields. We're watching the soccer. The soccer team, which is representing Zone 1, is from Cranbrook, the Cranbrook Hyundai Rovers, and they're playing a team from Zone 7. The score at present is tied 1-1. And the teams definitely seem well matched.
Head on!
Okay, well, actually, all the competitions for tennis are taking place this weekend. There's boys singles and girls singles, boys and girls doubles, and that's for the juniors. And then in the adult sections, you have the men's and women's singles, men's and women's doubles, and then mixed doubles. And the mixed doubles gives an opportunity for some of those that may not be quite as fleet of foot as they were a few years ago, and they have a lot more fun, I think, than anybody else here.
Oh, that's great. And how many games do they play over the course of the 3 days?
Well, today's Friday. Today's the first day of competition, and today's a round-robin event. Now, in their category, they will play 3 matches. Okay. The 8 zones I was speaking of are split into 2 sections. They play everybody else in their section once. Then we determine their standings after that, and then tomorrow they start in the actual play downs for the medal round.
Oh, good. So they're guaranteed quite a lot.
Oh, they get a lot of tennis matches out here.
Right.
Yeah. When they go back on the planes and buses, they're sort of...
That's good.
He's gonna have a blue ball. He got hit by the ball. They're out for the umps now or whatever.
Step back.
Let's go, Munir. Bowlers in. That one.
We are presently out at the Wycliffe Exhibition Grounds, and we are currently watching the Hunter Jumper Divisions underway. It's just beginning, and she's going around to make her first attempt at the first obstacle.
Well, Hunter is something that you would encounter if you were going on a ride in the bush over fences that resemble logs in the bush. Jumping is a stadium event where they use usually always white standards and so on, and it's a very disciplined art and I think very exciting.
Oh, it's tremendously exciting. I've really enjoyed watching it for the last few minutes here. So far, a nice smooth ride with just one obstacle down. It seemed to go very well. We have our second competitor out on the field in the Hunter Jumper division. It's an interesting division. Each rider is marked on its ability to handle a series of jumps. The ease of handling, the style over the fences, and the obedience to the rider are all considered in the final judging. Any major faults in this category would be a refusal to jump, a knockdown of a fence with either a front or hind leg, an erratic pace or jumping style. What kinds of things are the judges looking for as the jumper goes around with the horse?
The first and foremost is a clear round, and then each go is timed. They are given so many seconds to cover the course.
I see.
And so they can acquire knockdowns as faults or seconds as faults.
A nice smooth ride. Good time. Currently now on our third competitor in the Hunter Jumper division. This is actually a very exciting division of the English riding. Some of the fences are made to look quite natural with trees and shrubs, while others are bare fences. And it's the horse's ability to negotiate each of these obstacles that makes the ride stimulating and exciting at the same time.
The judge has just rung the bell for the rider to enter. The rider's music will start. The rider has 6 minutes to execute a test, and it's a test that only she knows. The judge does not know what she's going to do, and she is going to do her dressage test to music, and a bell will be sounded when she has done 5 minutes, a warning bell. After the 6-minute bell is rung, the judge no longer watches her. So she must get all her movements and all her work done in the 6 minutes allotted. They are judged not only on what movements they put in, but they are judged on artistic content and suitability of music to horse. When you're watching a cur, you should try and watch the horse's footsteps or the horse's movement or rhythm in conjunction with the music, how well the music is suited to the horse and vice versa. It's very difficult to get music to suit your horse. It's hours and hours and hours of work, and it's very, very hard. And these riders have put in many, many hours doing this.
Where did this sport originate, Joan?
To the best of my knowledge, I think the Europeans and probably the Germans started. They have perfected it, and it's very, very popular. Dressage in Germany draws crowds of about 200 people at the big competitions. And North America is just catching on, and Canada is, of course, a little bit slower than everybody else, and we're just starting. Like today, we don't have very many spectators. We're a little bit far out of Cranbrook, of course. But in Europe, there are very big crowds to watch this, and they do their curs to Grand Prix dressage, which is single tempi changes. It's flying change every stride, and they do it to music. And some of them have perfected it so that the music actually suits that horse doing those flying changes, and it's just beautiful to watch. I haven't seen it. I've read stories about it. I haven't been fortunate enough to go to Germany. But they must execute a certain amount of movements. This is called a basic cur. They must do the required movements of the basic level. They can do them in any order. They can do them wherever they want. They should try and show them on both reins, meaning going to the left and going to the right. and the content is judged to a certain extent. If you do something that is above your level, you're not judged on it. So this can be compared, I think everybody has watched Toller Cranston at some time doing those wonderful, wonderful free skates that he does. And this is what the Kerr is. True Dressage is Toller Cranston's free skate.
We're out at the Cranbrook Kimberley Trap and Skeet Range, and I'm talking with Bill Dunbar. And Bill has kindly given us some commentary here, and we're going to be asking him a few questions about what trap shooting is all about and a little bit about the people out here today. Hi, Bill, and maybe give us a quick overview on what trap shooting is all about here.
Well, in trap shooting, in the North American version, what we're shooting here, it's three basic different events. There's 16-yard, what we call singles. There's doubles, where two targets are thrown at once. And there's handicap, and that's an event where you stand further back based on your known ability.
I see. And how many people would we have competing today in this?
We have 53 competing for medals today.
53. How many Cranbrook people? Cranbrook Kimberley?
There's 10.
10.
Yeah,
oh,
there's 10
terrific.
from our zone. That's how many we could qualify.
What kinds of guns are we using out here? Is it a
12
special 12 gauge? So everyone is required to use the same kind of gun?
No, you can shoot a smaller gauge, but you can't shoot a bigger gauge. 12 is the maximum. We shoot 1 1/8 ounce a shot at 1,200 feet per second, and we have a specially designed gun that shoots high. In other words, you wouldn't want to take this out in the duck fields because they shoot over top of the ducks all the time.
Oh my goodness, that high?
That high.
Oh my gosh, what would that be used for?
Well, the target actually has a rise in it, and it's got the raises built into the gun.
Oh, I see. So it's designed to go.
It's designed to shoot high.
Just not straight up, I hope,
right.
but pretty high.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Of all the competitors that we have here, it looks like we have a few age groups. Are there?
Yes, we've got it broken down into classifications, but the nice thing is we got a lot of juniors out today. We got quite a few juniors, and we got some seniors, and we break it down.
I see. Well, we have 3 different areas down here, I see. They're all doing the same thing in each area, though?
Yeah, there's actually 4 traps down the line, and in a tournament's usually 100 or 200 targets, and what we're doing here is you shoot 25 targets on each of the traps.
I see.
Okay.
And the targets are the small orange discs?
That's right.
How big are they in diameter? They look quite small.
4 5/8 inches.
Oh my goodness.
Approximately, I can't remember exactly.
And the distance, and they're fired out
55 yards.
55 yards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Cranbrook Golf Club, where the 1986 BC Summer Games golf event is taking place. The rain has drizzled out. We're looking forward to better weather, and the golfing is really spectacular. We take you now to the 9th hole, the 9th tee box, where the Zone 1's men's last round is currently in play. We're currently here in Cranbrook at the golf club, and with me I have a group of very happy and very excited ladies. They've just won the gold medal for Zone 1 in their category. And at the end here I have
Linda Brucey from Sparwood.
Linda is also the coach of this happy group of ladies, and I'll just continue down the line and each one can introduce themselves.
Nona Franson from Kimberley. Elsie Shorthouse Trail.
Great.
Sheila Daniels Cranbrook.
Sheila, you've got 2 medals. What's the second medal for?
Individuals low gross.
Oh, that's terrific. Good for you. That's great.
Mary Bosenberry Cranbrook.
Dione MacArthur Castlegar.
Sherry Baker from Creston.
Sally Colville Cranbrook. Loretta Bolfoni Trail.
Great. Now, this happy group of ladies has just given us a rousing cheer to show us how excited they all were. I'm sure that most of them will be competing next year. Right, ladies? Right. They'll be back for the gold next year. We've missed the presentations, but I'm glad that we could make it and get you all here at the golf club together. Was there anything especially difficult today?
The greens are always a little tricky to putt. I think Sheila has a slight advantage over us. She is a great putter and proved it today. She took our money as well.
Oh, you had bets going on this game. Oh, that's great. Was there anything, Sally, was there anything in the driving that was especially difficult today, or was that a good part of the game for you?
Actually, it was a good part of the game for me.
Good. Oh, good. Well, I'd like to thank these ladies for sticking around and joining with us, and we'd really like to congratulate you once more on behalf of all of Cranbrook. I'm sure they're very proud of you all. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay! We're here at the soccer grounds at Laurie's School in the drizzling rain, which has just started and hope to soon be finished. And we have Vancouver playing Cranbrook. Cranbrook in the pinnies, Vancouver in the yellow shirts. There is quite a group of spectators braving this rain right now, so it's going really well. And the participants are really enthusiastic. It's just super. We're currently at East Kootenay Community College watching the mixed doubles badminton. These are the deaf badminton players. And I believe we're into the preliminary playdowns at the moment. We currently have 3 zones in play here, zones 3, 4, and 5. This is the final round of badminton today. Again, this is the first time that deaf badminton has been offered in the BC Summer Games. So it's an initiation year, and it's going extremely well from our official commentary. From all comments, it's going extremely well, and it's, I'm sure, going to be incorporated as a regular sport in the Summer Games from now on. Of course, East Kootenay Community College is the housing of the disabled athletes, and a great many of the sports actually took place here on the campus. And it's a great show of sportsmanship for all these people, and a great spirit of friendship for them as well.
The archery has gone through zone shoot-offs to get to this zone, or the BC Games, and right now they're in their second day of shooting, and this is the final round of the day.
We're currently here at Steeple School watching the archery event. For the BC Summer Games, the archery event is a Canadian shoot. People will shoot a total of 90 arrows per day over the 3-day event. And the seniors will shoot from 55, 45, and 35 meters out. The juniors will shoot the same distances, while the cadets, which are 13 to 14 years of age, will be shooting at a range of 45, 35, and 25 meters for their 3-day event. We have a number of local athletes participating in the archery event, a total of 12. From Kimberley, we have Eric Hoagland and Vladimir Kopecki. The rest of the athletes on the Zone 1 team are from the surrounding areas. At present, 3 whistles signals the archers to go and retrieve their arrows from the targets, and then we'll begin the second round of competition. Cranbrook Aquatic Center, and we're currently in progress is the first duet of synchronized swimming in the preliminary finals. With me I have Julie Bouchard, and Julie's going to give us a little bit of explanation here as to what's happening. Julie, could you please tell us what the judges are looking for in synchronized swimming?
Well, they're looking for the presentation on how, and the choreography, and how high they are out of the water, and their smile, and how they present themselves. place to put.
We have about how many people participating today? Do you have any idea in synchronized swimming? How many groups of twos?
Oh, we have about 12.
12 groups of twos. Oh, that's great. We'll just listen for a few minutes here. It's not going through.
Competitors number 2. From zone number 1, Stacy James and Carrie James.
Oh, I can do that, sure. Because we've got 2:30. This is only on till 3. Mission key is the same as the log?
Swimmers, take your mark. Climbers and judges. Swimmers, take your mark.
Talking to Sandra Espenheim from
Rossland, from the West Kootenays.
Okay, and you are the team manager for the Zone 1
Yes.
hockey team, women's team?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the hockey. First of all, age range.
Our team goes from about 15 to 22. Some of the teams have some older people. 15 is about the youngest on most of the teams.
Okay, and how many are on each team, or on your team in particular?
There's 11 players and 2 subs.
Okay, and how many games do you expect to play during the process of the 3 days?
Today we have 3 games, tomorrow's 2, and it depends on how you place in these games as to whether or not you play a game on Sunday, because they're just playoffs.
So it's basically a round-robin play?
Yes.
Are there teams represented from each zone?
Yes, there is. There's one from each zone.
It's from each zone. How long have you been practicing? How long have you been together?
This team's been together for about a month and a half, but we've had different kids going off to like Toronto for BCs and that to play in national teams, so it's hard to getting the whole team together for all the practices.
I see. And obviously being in West Kootenay, do you play year-round?
No. Too much snow.
Yes, you don't have indoor practices or anything?
We had a little bit of an indoor tournament going on for January and February, but there's just not enough kids in that, and too much traveling to get everyone interested.
Okay, just a few more questions. How long are the matches and the half times, and is, I guess, just whoever has the most scores at the end wins?
The halves, there's 2 halves, 30-minute halves, and halftime is 5 minutes. When we get into playoff games, the halves are 35 minutes.
Non-stop?
Yes, non-stop, except for substitutions, or then they stop it.
Okay, and how did you manage to get into to represent your zone?
We had playoffs. We all had one team, and everybody tried out for one team, and then the kids were cut. The good kids made it, and the ones that didn't were cut.
And who did you play off against?
We didn't play off. We just had trials for the one team.
I see. We had not enough people. Right. So people from Cranbrook, for example, could try out for your.
If they wanted to. If they wanted to travel, yeah.
Oh, great. Super. Well, thank you, and best of luck over the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're out here at Wycliffe with Gerald Shong. He's talking with us a little bit about the Modern Pentathlon, an event that's held out here that's very exciting and it's soon to begin. So we'll start right now with a couple of questions with Gerald. Maybe you could explain exactly what the Modern Pentathlon is all about.
Well, the Modern Pentathlon is an Olympic sport designed to see who's the best overall athlete. And it originated when the Modern Olympics started, and Pierre de Coubertin wanted a sport that would suggest who were the best. And what they came up with was a sport where a courier would take a message through enemy lines by riding a horse. And this evolved to the pentathlon sport now that it is today, which includes stadium jumping, cross-country jumping, which we're going to do today, fencing, swimming, shooting, and running. Shooting's done with the .22 pistol. The riding's done with an unfamiliar horse, which you get 20 minutes to warm up and find all its ins and outs and take through an 800-meter course. And as we come here now, we have the first rider. This is my little brother, Laurie.
Oh, that's great.
He's been riding now for about 3 years, which doesn't look like it right now. What happened in this case, in riding, you're supposed to take a straight line to the jump. You want to come perpendicular, and we don't take a straight line. The horse has trouble, as he knows he's on TV here.
Yes.
When you don't take a straight line, the horse sometimes mistimes the jump. In this case, the horse took the top of the jump down, and Laurie lost his balance, and the little clown act.
He'll come around for another
He'll come around for another attempt. In stadium jumping, when you knock down a jump as such, a whistle would normally blow.
I see. Okay. And then you would stop.
They would stop and repair the jump.
Okay.
In pentathlon, it's not necessary to own your own horse because you compete with different horses, which you draw from. And that's the challenge of pentathlon.
I see.
In top-level riding, jumps are usually 5 feet. In pentathlon, it's only 4 feet. But the disadvantage is that you're riding an unfamiliar horse.
I see.
And here our second rider is Kathy Steinfeld. She's the best rider of all of us. She has about 10 years experience. If you noticed over the jumps and that her hands didn't move very much, that's a sign of a good rider, keeping her hands quiet. Okay, the run is a 4,000-meter cross-country for men, 3,000 for junior, and 2,000 for ladies. In the summer games, the men will be running 3,000 and the ladies 2,000. This cross-country, we walk the course a couple days beforehand, and in top-level competition, there's what's known as a handicap start, in which the person leaves first, and people following him leave in whichever order of points behind they are, so that the first person crossing the finish line is the overall winner in pentathlon.
How about the swim? What's the swim?
The swim's 300 meters, which is for men, and 200 for women. 300 seems to be quite unusual, since in swimming, the only distance comparable are the 200-meter and 400-meter swims. But since pentathlon isn't a regular swimming event, I suppose that's why they chose the 300 meters.
Let's talk a little bit about the pistol. You mentioned it was a .22.
Yeah, in the summer games we're using air pistols.
I see.
But in Olympic competition we use a .22 pistol, and we shoot what's known as a duel target, which is a squared-off version of a silhouette of a person.
Oh.
And the way we shoot the course of fire is 20 shots, in which the shooting is divided up into 4 series of 5, in which you have 3 seconds to fire a shot, and then the target turns away for 7 seconds. It's not really a challenging sport as far as shooters are concerned, but when you add on the pressure of all the other 5 events and the fact that each point is worth 22 pentathlon points, shooting becomes very nerve-wracking.
Yes. Yes. And the fencing, how would the fencing work?
Fencing, okay. Fencing is épée fencing, and épée fencing in normal fencing is 5 points for a victory. But in pentathlon it's limited down to 1 because it is a military event. 1 hit, the person's dead. Simulation. In top competitions, the fencing lasts 10 or 12 hours.
Oh my goodness!
It's a little different from marathon running, which is continuous endurance. Fencing is continuous or discontinuous explosive energy being spent over a long period of time.
Still quite draining.
It's quite draining. Cramping is very common.
now for the 3,000 meter girls race, and we do have one representative from Cranbrook in this race, Sonia Dragovan. She competed in the 800 meter and she competed in the 1500 meter and now today in the 3,000 meter. And the 3,000 meter is a time final, so there'll be one running of this race. So we wish her all the best of luck. Terrific. Oh, don't stop. Now we're at the ladies' high jump pit, and the bar has just been reset. Right now we're ready to watch the 200 meter blind girls run, and as you can see, each girl that is running will be accompanied by a coach that will run with them through the entire 200 meters. We just watched the beginning of the blind girls 200 meters, and now we're going to be able to catch the end of the 200 meter blind boys. Now we're at the finish line and we're waiting for the race, the 200 meter race, wheelchair race.
Grandma just lowered the boom on.
And now we're at the long jump pit, and this is the deaf girl long jump event. Now we're watching the boys long jump. Good jump. Go. In progress, the 200 meter men's. Oh, a terrific race. Okay, we're now nearing the end of the 2,000 meter race for the modern pentathlon ladies. And over the 3 days, the women have competed in 3 events. And this will be the end of their 3-day competition. On an international level, the 5 events are swimming, running, 2,000 meters, handgun shooting, and fencing, and cross-country horse riding, jumping. And in this particular competition for the BC Summer Games, they don't have the fencing or the horse jumping. However, we were lucky enough to pick up 2 demonstrations of the sport. It's an exciting event. From Cranbrook, we have 3 girls participating: Misty Pagliaro, Deanna Williams, and Paige Lancaster. To end off our day, I'd like to have an interview. I'm having an interview with Jake McGuinness, who's the Director of Equipment and Facilities for the BC Summer Games in Cranbrook 1986. And maybe he could capsulize the last 3 days for us. Are you happy with the facility, first of all?
Judy, it's just been tremendous. I've had the pleasure of meeting with all of the sports people, I think, and certainly on all of the venues, and notwithstanding a few rain showers here and there, it has been absolutely tremendous. The people of Cranbrook have done a fabulous job. It's very much appreciated, and we're just thrilled with it.
Oh, that's terrific. And you've had so many volunteers. We've traveled around for the last 3 days, and we're just amazed with what's being done here in Cranbrook.
I'm overwhelmed. I have never seen so many people pulling in the same direction at once. And I think what we're seeing here today and what we've seen these past 2 days tells us all just what we can do, and we've got a lot to be proud of, and I'm really, really pleased.
And how will all these facilities affect Cranbrook in the future?
Well, we're looking forward to a great deal more participation in sports now. We hope to expand our offerings in minor sport, junior sport. We certainly are going to put this marvelous track and facility to good advantage. We've hired a phys ed instructor who will begin with us this fall, and he comes to us very highly recommended, formerly of Kimberley, in fact. And he'll be here, Mr. Moody, Dr. Moody, and he'll be running clinics and teaching teachers and teaching all of us how to do and pursue our favorite pastime. And it's going to be a fabulous legacy of the games. And thanks to the Summer Games people and all the volunteers and supporters, it's just overwhelming, quite frankly.
Well, that's fantastic. Here we've got the end of a race happening.
Yes, it's happening right now, and aren't we pleased? Oh, that's tremendous. That's great.
Well, we extend our congratulations to you and all of your committees and everybody that has worked on the Summer Games. It's been a tremendous effort, and we're also very, very proud.
Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution as well, all of you. Thanks very much.
We're talking with Ron Tarr, president of the BC Summer Games in Cranbrook 1986, and I guess it's come to a conclusion, Ron.
It looks that way, doesn't it? It's been a long time coming, and once it got here, it was just hard to believe that we were doing it, but now we're pretty well finished with outside of the Sunday in the Park, which has attracted, I would say, at least 3,500 to 4,000 people. It's beyond the wildest dreams of any of the directors of what has gone on here in the last 4 days.
So you're pleased with all that's happened?
What more could I say than that? Not only that, but I think the whole community is pleased. We've had nothing but plaudits from our local citizens. We have had nothing but plaudits from the athletes who say our fields were excellent. The organization of the sports has been excellent. Our opening ceremonies is ranked as one of the best, if not the best, of Summer Games that's ever taken place. I couldn't be any higher than if I had been sniffing something.
Oh, that's terrific. And I guess you can't say enough about your volunteers and your directors that have helped to make this all possible.
No, it's strictly a community effort. We had close to 3,500 volunteers at the final count. Everybody contributed a little bit. A great many people contributed much beyond what was asked of them. There's some people who showed up at the Games office, it became a job to them. Many people who retired from a normal job, if you want to call it that, took over and did things for us on a continuous basis, and I can't say enough good things about these people, and there's no way that I can point out and say that individual is outstanding. We had too many people who are outstanding to point one finger, and many people out there that I don't know about, because there's no way that I can know the contribution that 3,500 different people have made.
Right. And what does this mean to Cranbrook for the future?
Well, it means that anything we decide to tie in and do, that we're going to do it, because this will be the biggest project, as Mr. Butlin has boasted in the past, the largest gathering of athletes on the North American continent outside of the Olympics. So whatever you say we can do, I guess we can do. We've shown we can handle this one.
And as far as the facilities and everything that were left as a result of the Summer Games, I'm sure that'll be a tremendous asset to the community as well.
There has been a considerable amount of work done by the city of Cranbrook and by the various sporting groups to upgrade our fields to get the compliments given to us by the visiting athletes. There's going to be approximately $90,000 legacy left behind for the promotion of amateur sport. It's it's just been a tremendous thing, and I'm just talking about the things for the sport and the things that the volunteers that have done in drawing the community together with one objective in mind, put on a successful Games. I think we accomplished that.
I You certainly have done so. Now, what is Mr. Rontar going to do now this coming week?
This coming week, Mr. Rontar is going to take his good wife and leave the city, and I'm not leaving any forwarding phone numbers. Don't call me, I'll call you.
Well, our congratulations. It certainly has been a tremendous success. I know we've talked to some of the people in the community are very, very proud to be from Cranbrook. And our congratulations once again. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm going to talk to you for a second. Who am I speaking to?
Joyce Tatey.
Joyce Tatey. Joyce, were you a volunteer during the summer games?
Yes, I was.
And what do you think of the summer games?
I think it was super.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes. And the organization was super.
Good. And what about the athletes?
Great.
Did they enjoy it?
Yes, I think they enjoyed it very much.
Good. I just noticed you up there doing your aerobics as well. Good.
So I think Cranbrook deserves a pat in the back because they did a super job. Great. Really super.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Heard any comments about the summer games and how they went?
Yeah, I heard they were excellent. I tried to actually I was down yesterday, but it poured rain.
Yeah.
When I was here, and I had other commitments, so but I heard they were excellent. I did try to take part, but
good.
I was sort of caught up. But it was excellent from what I hear.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
I just wanted to ask you if you took in any of the summer games and what your impressions were as far as the community goes.
Well, we were up to the opening, and we went out to see the Black Powder events out by Fort Steele, and it was great. Loved their costumes.
Yeah.
People had a good
What do you think
time.
of the opening ceremonies?
Oh, fantastic. Don Rogers had it planned right down to the nth degree. It went off very well.
Good, good. And how are you enjoying today?
Oh, lovely. Super.
Yeah,
A little bit of rain, a little bit of sun, can't complain. Yeah, the entertainment's been really nice.
And your
Enjoyed
overall
myself.
impressions of the summer games?
Oh, well run. Super to see all the kids, the athletes. Just having everybody come together, I think, is a really nice thing for Cranbrook.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Talking with Laura Clayman, and you are instrumental in organizing Sunday in the Park. Is that
Yes,
right?
the Special Events Committee.
Right.
Yes.
And how are you feeling about it? Are you?
Well, I'm really happy that so many people from Cranbrook turned up, and that the weather, the sun, that's the main thing that makes the day.